For this first lesson, let's do a quick recap of Dynamo and Python, how they relate, and how we can discover the best way to combine both. This video is sponsored by Tagetize, the easiest way to run Tag All on multiple Revit views and sheets. Also, say goodbye to overlapping tags. Tagetize will turn this into this. Try Tagetize completely for free using the link in this video's description. As some of you have known, Dynamo is a visual programming language. Instead of writing lines and lines of codes, you simply connect different nodes using connectors or wires, as I prefer to call it, and when data flows from left to right, the logic of your code will be executed, making certain things happen. On the other hand, you have things like Python, which is a textual programming language. This is traditionally how programming and coding used to be before things like Dynamo comes up on the market. With Python, you do have a higher barrier of entry because, let's face it, it's much more difficult to learn Python than just learning Dynamo. You can learn to connect certain nodes to do certain things in Dynamo in maybe an afternoon. But with Python, there needs to be a few days at least to get up to speed. But the reward is totally worth it. There are many advantages of using Python over just Dynamo nodes, but the top three are: number one, you can access all the available methods in the Revit API. We will cover how to read and understand and use the API a bit later on in the course, but as you may have seen, not all of the methods in the API is available in Dynamo. So instead of waiting for someone else in the community to release new Dynamo nodes to do the same thing you can do in the API, with Python, you can just get to the same method and execute it straight away. Secondly, it allows you to create much more complex routines that are just simply too long or too difficult to write and maintain with Dynamo nodes. With Python, it's much easier to turn your code into a module that you can then repeat or reuse. The same thing will take maybe hundreds of Dynamo nodes to achieve. And number three, your code will execute quicker. This is because Dynamo nodes, they need to use some transactional elements to work. For example, if you have created new walls with Dynamo nodes, you will know that you need certain nodes to create the curve that those walls have to follow. For example, let's look at this very simple Dynamo script I have here. This is what I call transactional or intermediate geometry. This node right there, it creates this line here in 3D space, and you can also see the same line in here in Revit because I have preview turned on. That line goes from here to there. To create a wall like this in Dynamo using just simple nodes, you need to make the line, have it generated, and then fit the same line to this node here to create a wall. So if I now go ahead and run this, you can see that wall is created. But this line here, just lying there, even though we don't really need it, we just need the end product, which is a wall. Having this line here just slows down your Dynamo script a little. But as you can imagine, if you do this more and more in a longer and more complex script, that performance hit will add up. With Python, there's no such problem because you can generate this line straight in the code, keep it there, never visualize it, and use it straight away to create a wall using another line of code just below it. That's why overall, your Dynamo script written in Python will run much quicker compared to the same thing if done just using nodes. Okay, so if someone asks you why you have to do Python instead of nodes, now you have the answer. Moving forward, our course will start now with just going through the basic concepts in Python, the ones you absolutely need to know to use Python in Dynamo. So let's get started. To see the next lesson of this course, remember to subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified when I publish it next week. Also, let me know in the comments below, what do you want the next lessons to cover? For now, have a good day and I'll see you in the next video.